Here's what the Jets have done thus far, starting with their move a couple days ago with the Rams. As you look at Farrier and the commissioner, it is a Jet home game here. The Jet fans have outnumbered the Giant fans, by the way, for scoring at home. The Rams got, here's what the Jets got in the pace deal, as it turned out. They swapped the ones. They pick up a 3, a 4, and a 7, which they traded to Philadelphia to get Dixon. Then they traded that one to Tampa, okay, to swap spots, and they pick up an extra 4. All right, so for all that, they pick up Farrier, and they get 1, 2, 3, 4 extra picks out of it. So the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. Now they may have a decision. Who's going to wash his face at the end of the day? We'll be back.
I was getting off a plane when this stranger tosses me a dime. Suddenly, I was in command. With one whistle, 12 cabs appeared. At home, the kids were studying, my husband was cleaning the bathroom, like I always ask. Then guess who shows up with my phone bill?
Just happened to be in the neighborhood.
Along with a dime a minute for my long distance, now my paging and internet had a flat rate too. To celebrate, we went out to eat. The tip? The dime. Shouldn't everyone have a phone bill that makes sense?
Call now for 200 minutes free.
I like being in control. With this new Dinerex, I control the cause of my dandruff every day.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula. Its medicine doesn't just treat the symptoms. It controls a leading cause of dandruff called Peel Valley.
Now that's serious control.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula.
This is for my parents who believe in my dreams. And for myself, for my future.
Hi, I'm Dweezil.
And I'm Ahmed. And we're the Big League Detective Agency.
Private investigating state licensed baseball specialists.
Need information?
Protection.
And infield. We take scouting to a whole new level. Client confidentiality guaranteed.
The baseball detective's got me a new job.
So, call now!
Hello.
Yeah, we plug dugouts.
So call the baseball detectives. 1-888-BIG League.
1-8.
Operatives are standing by.
Now we are back with these special helmet phones that we've gotten to know and love for the draft. And now the Arizona Cardinals, we have some action, fast and furious here in the first 8 picks. The Arizona Cardinals now have to rethink. They were hoping to get Farrier. I believe that's one of the players that they certainly wanted. They now have to think about a defensive back, which may be a little rich as far as looking at the draft in the 9-hole to pick a guy like a Tommy Knight. Do they do that? Do they try and bail? Does somebody see a player that they want to come up and get? I think we may see the Arizona Cards take all 15 minutes. Where do they look? Vince Tobin, a defensive coach.
Well, I think a defensive coach here, I think he looks to come out. I tend to agree with you, Chris. I think there's a possibility they may take the defensive back. But I think back to last year when Houston had the 9 pick and Oakland wanted a tight end with Ricky Dudley. Gonzalez out of California is the guy that everybody wants. The pick here at Arizona, New Orleans' pick at 10, Atlanta's pick at 11. I think those are the 3 spots that Kansas City wants to try and come up to because they've made it public everywhere that they want Gonzalez. I think this is right in the spot where you see the tight end want to go. Somewhere in these next 2, 3 picks. He's the hot property. I think this is the spot that Kansas City can ensure they get who they want if they're the people that want to come up. Dallas wants to come up. San Francisco wants to come up as well. So I think there's a real possibility here. They trade this pick or possibly wind up taking the DB, like you said, because of its being a defensive coach.
All right, so we've had 8 picks thus far. Cardinals are on the clock. Let's go back up to our Bristol headquarters and Chris Fowler and gang for a draft update. Chris?
Well, thank you, Chris. It is recap time, and if you're just joining us, where have you been? You've missed 8 picks already in a very briskly paced first round. Also missed 2 trades involving pick number 6, and the news is that Seattle has made the trade and gotten 2 of the top 6 players in the draft, Sean Springs and Walter Jones, the offensive tackle out of Florida State. Here's Seahawks head coach Dennis Erickson speaking with Hank Goldberg about the Seahawks' 2 picks so far.
Well, with the first pick, obviously, Sean Springs was a guy that we wanted because of the need at that position, and we were able to get him, which enabled us now to do something with that 12th pick. Had we not gotten Sean, we would have had to get a corner with that 12th pick and done some things to move up to get that done because of that need.
And Ron Jaworski joins me. Sean Springs, defensive back number 2 taken in this draft was Bryant Westbrook. We had to wait till pick number 11 last year to get a defensive back. And Ohio State just keeps producing great players. In the last 3 years now, 8 picks in the first round. How does Springs fit in? He's a guy who's confident, Jaws. He will tell an opposing wide receiver, you out your league. Well, now he's in a new league.
He's a guy that could play the man-to-man coverage. Now, you put him back there on the corner with Willie Williams, you really freed up the defense. And when you go and you look at what a team can do by doing a lot of different things with the linebackers and with the safeties, and you see it right here on the corner, say you got a Willie Williams and a Sean Springs that could play good man-to-man coverage, it frees these safeties up to get involved with the running game, get involved with the blitzing game. These guys are key. Now, when you got Sinclair and Adams and guys, Cortez Kennedy up front, you now have 11 guys that can attack the quarterback. And when you can attack the quarterback, it's easy to play in the secondary.
That's what Dennis Erickson wants to do. That's what Ohio State was able to do. Springs such a good coverage guy. They just left him out here one-on-one. The linebackers and the safeties, as you pointed out, got very involved in the pass rush. All right, pick number 9 up next. Back to Chris Berman in New York.
All right, guys, thank you. Well, we've talked to Tom Jackson here in New York that if the field was this size, you could have played more. But what happened if you would have to go up against Orlando Pace on a field this size, Tom? There's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide.
Well, it took me a long time to get around him, Chris, but when you start to assess Orlando Pace, he is atypical of most left tackles in the game. You're looking for a guy usually who's a little smaller and has more athleticism because he's blocking those great right defensive ends whose expertise is rushing the passer. You take a look at Orlando Pace, the first thing you notice is the great balance, and then watch the feet. It's like dancer's feet. You watch him, he has a great grip, gets his hands on you, hard to get away, but watch the punch right there, has the ability to knock people off. And the thing that I like about him the most is that once you get a runner going downfield, Orlando Pace likes what he does. He wanders downfield, he hits people when he doesn't have to, and I think that's something you can't teach and you can't coach, Boom.
Don't do anything. All right, well, thank you, Tommy. It's pancakes for everybody at this point. 8 picks thus far in the first round, 3 of them from the ACC. So as we wait for the Arizona Cardinals, who have now about 5 minutes left on the clock. First rounders in the 90s, Ohio State now with Pace and Springs, and Russell with USC. So USC 1, Ohio State 2, so Ohio State has the lead, 12-11. Notre Dame, Joe, 3rd at 9.
We're
Michigan,
hanging there.
Texas
We're
A&M.
just hanging there.
Yeah, but you may have.
We got a few
coming up.
We got a win or two.
We can see what happens. Yeah. Pick us in for the cards. Let's see what's in the cards for Arizona. Look at this. He's delivering sodas. I don't believe it.
With the 9th pick in the first round, the Arizona Cardinals select Tom Knight, defensive back from Iowa.
Well, this is an interesting selection, Mel, because I think
the
that
New
Tom
Orleans
Knight,
Saints are now on the clock with the choice obtained from the Oakland Raiders by trade.
who is another, pretty big, not huge, but 5'11", almost 200 pounds corner, 10 career interceptions. He's moved up the charts despite the fact that in his college career earlier on he had a couple of knee injuries, but he was a name that I kept hearing, and he's moved up the boards here to the number 3 corner. Do you like this pick, or is it a reach?
No, I don't like the pick at all, Chris. I think when you look at Tommy Knight, you see a guy that, here against Donald Hayes from Wisconsin, showed some ability. There's no question this kid's a good athlete. He's got good physical ability, but I think he allowed too many completions to his receiver. He's not a tremendous run support corner. To me, he's a guy that has, good 40 speed, doesn't play quite as fast. I didn't win the draft board, 112th overall when I did the draft report. So you're taking a guy 9th, and I have 112th. Obviously, I don't agree with this pick. I didn't agree with some of the things Bill Tobin did. Now Vince Tobin, I guess the Tobin family. I'm not on the top of their Christmas card list.
We finally got you off Mike Hickey's bad list, and now here you are with another Tobin.
What can you do? It just falls that way.
Well, I mean, but a lot of teams were talking about him moving up as the number 3 corner. You don't see it.
No, I didn't see it.
Fluid, good technique.
Well, he is, but he allowed so many completions to his side of the field. I just did not see a dominant guy. You see Springs and you see Westbrook shut down people. Knight did not do that despite the physical and athletic ability. It was a year very deep in corners, so if you're Arizona, you try to trade down. The problem probably was who are they going to trade down with. We said at this spot it was tough, although you wonder if they had any offers. Gonzalez was a hot property. When does that trade occur? I'm not taking, I mean, how can I, who had a guy 112th in the draft report, applaud this draft choice?
Well, you know, the Tobin family in general doesn't think much of your evaluation, so I mean, that goes over. I don't have a problem with it, to be perfectly honest with you. I think you need somebody opposite Aeneas Williams, and you said it yourself.